Welcome to PC, Police Chase. Real-life chases where everything changes in an instant. Speed is pushed to the limit, pressure mounts, and every decision has consequences. You'll see moments where a single mistake can send everything spiraling out of control. If you're ready for this breathtaking experience, start now. In June 2021, in Ohio, officers identified a white sedan connected to a shooting incident. When police attempted a stop, the driver refused and instantly accelerated, launching a high-speed pursuit. The suspect pushed the vehicle to extreme speeds on the highway, weaving aggressively through traffic, lane after lane. Close calls stacking up, each move putting innocent drivers at risk. Officers coordinated behind him, staying locked in. Spike strips were deployed, but the suspect slipped through, avoiding the trap and continuing the escape. The chase escalated mile after mile. Near Sunbury, everything began to collapse. The suspect's vehicle collided with other cars, losing control under pressure. Within seconds, police units closed in from multiple angles, cutting off every possible exit. The white sedan was forced to a stop at an intersection. Officers moved in immediately. K-9 units were deployed, and the suspect was taken into custody at the scene. What started as a shooting-related escape ended in total shutdown, because at high speeds, control is temporary, but consequences are not. On Highway 71 Arkansas, near the airport area, a state trooper identified a Ford F-150 attempting to evade law enforcement. When the officer attempted a traffic stop, the driver didn't comply. He accelerated and fled, initiating a high-speed pursuit. The situation escalated quickly into a dangerous chase. The suspect weaved through traffic at speed, cutting between vehicles with little margin for error. Traffic conditions were moderate, but every movement increased the risk of a serious crash. The trooper stayed locked in behind the truck, waiting for the right moment to intervene, because at this speed, any mistake would end it instantly. The pursuit reached its breaking point in seconds. The trooper executed a precision pit maneuver, striking the rear of the F-150. The truck lost control immediately. It spun, then rolled violently multiple times across the roadway, coming to a hard, uncontrolled stop. There was no recovery.
You just keep your fucking hand
Officers rushed in with weapons drawn. Multiple occupants, 2 men and 1 woman, were ordered out and taken into custody. One suspect repeatedly claimed innocence during arrest. A female passenger reported injuries, and medical assistance was requested at the scene. TOW units were called to remove the damaged vehicles. What started as an attempt to flee ended in a violent rollover within seconds. Because at high speed, control disappears fast, and consequences arrive faster.
Yeah. Where you at?
We're on the
Up here, I guess. What's your cross street? We're looking for you, bud. Oh, we're just running a vehicle on 70. He said he's right there. We're on 71.
On April 15, 2023, in Brevard County, Florida, Florida Highway Patrol units identified a black Hyundai Sonata fleeing on Interstate 95. When officers attempted to stop the vehicle, the driver didn't comply. He accelerated, triggering a high-speed pursuit. The situation escalated rapidly on the highway. The suspect maintained speed while moving through traffic, forcing officers to coordinate in real time. Multiple units formed a box-in strategy, positioning themselves to limit escape routes and slow the vehicle down. Every movement became calculated. Every second tightened the pressure. The suspect was running out of space and options. The pursuit reached its breaking point within moments. An officer executed a precision pit maneuver, striking the rear of the Hyundai. The vehicle lost control immediately, sliding off the roadway and coming to a stop in the grass shoulder. The chase was over. Officers quickly surrounded the vehicle with weapons drawn. 3 occupants, 2 men and 1 woman, were ordered out and taken into custody. Medical assistance was requested at the scene. What started as a high-speed escape ended in a controlled takedown. Because on the highway, you can run for miles, but not forever. On an afternoon in Polk County, Florida, Florida Highway Patrol units identified a dark blue Chevrolet pickup fleeing through local roadways. When officers attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the driver refused, accelerating away and triggering a pursuit. The chase unfolded through multiple areas, including exit 33 and southbound Socrum Loop Road. The suspect continued driving aggressively, forcing officers to maintain close pursuit while evaluating the environment. Traffic conditions, road layout, and timing. Everything had to be calculated. A veteran FHP sergeant moved into position, waiting for the right moment to act. That moment came. With no vehicles nearby and conditions under control, the trooper executed a precise PIT maneuver. The impact was clean. The truck spun out instantly and came to a stop on the grassy median. The pursuit ended in seconds. Officers quickly converged on the vehicle with weapons drawn. The suspect was ordered out and taken into custody without further incident. What stood out wasn't just the speed, but the precision, because in high-risk pursuits, Timing is everything, and one perfect move can end it all. On July 5, 2023, in Pinellas County, Florida, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper identified a black sedan traveling at extreme speed on Interstate 275 during late-night hours. When the trooper attempted a traffic stop, the driver refused, accelerating past 100 miles per hour and initiating a high-speed pursuit. The chase quickly escalated across the highway under low-traffic nighttime conditions. The suspect weaved through lanes at dangerous speeds, while the trooper maintained pursuit, carefully navigating the roadway to keep visual contact. Even with fewer vehicles on the road, the margin for error at over 100 miles per hour was razor-thin. Every second, the risk increased. The decisive moment had arrived. The officer executed a precise pit, causing the sedan to lose control, spin, and veer onto the roadside grass. The chase ended immediately. The officer approached with weapon in hand and gave clear orders. The driver, a woman, was instructed to raise her hands, open the door with her foot, and slowly step out. She was subdued and arrested without further incident. When questioned, she admitted to fleeing because she feared a warrant was issued for her arrest. But fear cannot justify dangerous behavior. A seemingly ordinary stop had turned into a high-speed chase, showing how a single decision to flee can spiral out of control in seconds. On March 4, 2024, in Punta Gorda, Florida, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper identified a white Dodge Charger fleeing at extreme speed on Interstate 75. When the trooper attempted to close the distance, the suspect refused to stop, pushing the situation into a dangerous high-speed pursuit. The chase intensified rapidly. The Charger weaved aggressively through traffic at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, forcing the trooper to match the pace while maintaining control. At those speeds, even a minor miscalculation can be catastrophic. As the trooper pushed forward to keep up, the margin for error disappeared. then everything changed in seconds. The trooper lost control. The patrol vehicle veered off the roadway and crashed violently into roadside trees. Airbags deployed instantly. The windshield shattered, but the pursuit didn't end there. Other FHP units stayed on the suspect. And moments later, a successful PIT maneuver brought the Charger to a stop. Bystanders rushed to assist the crashed trooper, helping him exit the damaged vehicle. Meanwhile, responding units moved in on the suspect. Multiple occupants were ordered out, restrained, and taken into custody. Despite one officer going down, the operation continued and ended successfully. Because in high-speed pursuits, it's not just about stopping the suspect. It's about the risks every officer takes to get there. On November 17, 2023, in Miami-Dade County, Florida, Florida Highway Patrol units attempted to stop a black Mercedes AMG. Instead of complying, the driver fled, triggering a high-speed pursuit through city streets and highways. The chase quickly escalated into a dangerous urban pursuit. The Mercedes pushed high speeds through populated areas, weaving aggressively between vehicles along US 441 and toward Interstate 95. At times exceeding 100 miles per hour in city zones, the suspect showed no regard for traffic signals, surrounding vehicles, or public safety. Officers stayed coordinated, tracking movement, communicating positions, and waiting for the right moment to contain the threat. The decisive moment arrived in a tight space. The car turned into the parking lot of a business establishment, but it was a dead end. Multiple police cars quickly closed in from multiple directions, completely surrounding the area, leaving no escape route. The chase ended immediately. Officers stepped out with weapons in hand, giving decisive orders. The suspects were ordered to raise their hands and lie down. The two suspects were subdued, and the operation concluded with a precise arrest. On an afternoon along Interstate 20 near the Georgia-Alabama border, a Georgia State Patrol trooper observed a silver Nissan Altima speeding clocked at 71 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone. When the trooper initiated a traffic stop, the driver refused, accelerating away and triggering a high-speed pursuit. The situation escalated rapidly into a multi-state chase. The suspect pushed speeds beyond 100 miles per hour, crossing from Georgia into Alabama while weaving through traffic at dangerous speeds. Officers attempted multiple PIT maneuvers, each one at high velocity, each one risky. The driver remained aggressive, refusing to yield despite repeated intervention attempts. Every mile increased the danger, not just for officers, but for everyone on the roadway. After numerous attempts, the chase reached its limit. The Altima lost control, swerved off the road, and crashed violently into a large tree on the roadside. The chase ended with a violent collision. Police quickly moved in, weapons in hand. The driver was ordered out of the car and arrested at the scene. On March 27, 2022, in downtown Atlanta, Georgia, a Georgia State Patrol trooper clocked a BMW traveling at 108 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone on Interstate 75 over 85. When the trooper initiated a stop, the driver refused, accelerating even further and triggering a high-speed pursuit through the city. The chase quickly escalated into a full-speed urban pursuit. The BMW surged to speeds nearing 140 miles per hour, weaving dangerously through nighttime traffic in the heart of Atlanta. At those speeds, in a dense city environment, every lane change risked a catastrophic collision. The suspect showed no hesitation, continuing reckless maneuvers despite the growing danger. Officers stayed locked in, waiting for the precise moment to intervene. The decisive moment arrived at high speed. The officer executed a decisive pit, causing the BMW to lose control, spin, and crash violently into the concrete median. In just seconds, the high-speed chase ended in a violent collision. Police quickly closed in with weapons in hand. The driver was pulled from the car and arrested at the scene. A female passenger was also subdued. The heavily damaged BMW is proof of the consequences of fleeing. A single speeding violation turned into a 140 miles per hour chase through the city, ending in a forced stop, because in an urban environment, speed doesn't mean escape, but only shortens the distance to an accident. On a day in Miami, Florida, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper attempted to stop a gray Toyota RAV4 after noticing the driver was not wearing a seatbelt on State Road 836. At first, the vehicle appeared to comply, but within seconds, the driver accelerated and fled, initiating a high-speed pursuit. The chase escalated rapidly across Miami's busy highway system. The suspect maneuvered aggressively through traffic, forcing officers to stay tight while maintaining control in a high-risk environment. What began as a minor violation quickly turned into a full-scale pursuit. Officers stayed committed, tracking every move as the suspect pushed deeper into danger. The turning point came very quickly. A precise pit was executed, causing the SUV to spin and stop right next to the concrete median. The driver, later identified as Nelson Jose Gomez Leon, jumped out of the vehicle and fled, committing a felony, possession of drugs. A seemingly minor seatbelt failure led to a highway chase, an arrest, and a major drug case. In Arkansas, a state trooper identified a gray Dodge Charger fleeing at extreme speed. When officers attempted to stop the vehicle, the driver refused, accelerating rapidly and initiating a high-speed pursuit. The situation escalated immediately. The Charger reached speeds of up to 140 miles per hour, weaving aggressively through traffic and putting everyone on the roadway at risk. At those speeds, control becomes fragile, and every second increases the chance of catastrophic failure. Still, the suspect pushed forward, refusing to slow down. The end came quickly. The car lost control, swerved off the road, and crashed violently into the concrete median before coming to a stop on the grass. But instead of surrendering, the driver immediately jumped out of the car and fled. Police quickly cordoned off the area. With the help of police dogs and a helicopter, the suspect was found hiding under a bush in a residence yard. He was pulled out and arrested on the spot. A high-speed chase, ending in an accident and a desperate escape attempt.